So, if you're wondering why I have a change of scenery, no, I haven't left Australia. I actually went to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu today and I was so excited, but on the very beginning warm ups, I tweaked my knee. And it was to the point that I didn't feel comfortable actually going out on the mat again. And now I found that whenever I pivot, there's a sharp pain that happens, and it's very stiff, and it's going to be swelling. I know it's going to be swelling. But with that in mind, it gave me an idea of what I wanted to talk about today, and that is the idea of pain. I think so many of us want to just run away from pain. Any pain we have, any distress, like any mental pain, any physical pain, any type of pain, we want to numb, we want to get rid of, and we want to escape from. I want to turn this idea on its head. Or not even on its head, just think about it from a different perspective. Think about it from a biological perspective of why do we even have pain to begin with? Why does our nervous system and our body develop? Why has our body and nervous system developed to elicit pain? Well, a lot of times, let's just take physical pain, for instance. It is an indication, two things. One, that something is wrong. That something is wrong. If you burn yourself for a couple days afterwards, it's going to hurt. And it's your body telling you, hey, this part is in the recovery phase, or this part needs immediate tension. That's why it's kind of weird because you can think of pain kind of like alarm bells. It's your body sounding the alarm bells of, hey, there's something wrong. There's something wrong here. Do something to help it. Or, hey, I'm trying to recover. Don't use this part of me. And that's one way we should think about pain is more like a signpost or a sign of something that's happening. And it's up to us to interpret that pain and to see how we should react to it, what we should do to react to it. Because depending on our situation is going to affect our answer. Not every situation is going to need the same remedy. So example, right? You have a burn on your hand. If you're at home, well, what kind of burn is it? Right? You have to interpret that yourself, and usually the amount of pain indicates, okay, hey, where should we go? Should we go to the doctors? Can we do it, remedy it at home? Is it something we should just ignore and wait till it heals by itself? This is all done by the capacity of yourself, your conscious self. And that pain, and a lot of times the intensity of the pain, tells you or gives you a clue onto what is happening. And that is why I think whenever people go through their lives, they get more experience. They have a better reasoning and understanding of what kind of pain this is and if it should be treated or not, and whether it should be treated or not. A child who has a twinge in their knee might be different than an adult saying, hey, I have a twinge in my knee. Just because there's an experience, the adult has experience within in their lifetime of the different kind kinds of pain and different pains that happen to them, and has experienced different pains. And so they might have a better idea on how to deal with it, or what kind of pain it is, or if it's something worth going to the doctor over. Whereas a child doesn't have that experience. A twinge in their knee might be the first time they're ever experiencing a twinge in their knee, and thus it might be the most excruciating pain to them because they don't have anything else to compare it to. So there's a lot of variability to it, but the main important thing, I think, when we're thinking about pain, is that we have to start thinking about pain as a signpost, a idea, well, not ideas, but a alerts coming from your body telling you that something is wrong, and not necessarily that our conscious self has to do something about it. It's just a signpost. It's just your body telling you there's something that's out of the ordinary. And that's the same thing with our mental states as well. We can take the analogy about the child and the adult having different tolerances, but ideas of pain to the mental self as well. We all know that teenager who had his first heartbreak, or the girl who had her first heartbreak. If an adult lives life fully, they're going to have a lot of heartbreaks in their life. It's inevitable, unless you hide away from life, let's say. But if someone is truly trying to live life, trying to go out, discover what this life means to them, then they're going to have a lot of heartbreak, and they're going to have a lot of things happen to them that are distressing, that is mentally painful. So they're going to accumulate a lot of these mental pains, a lot of these distresses. Not accumulate is the wrong word, let's say, but experience a lot of this distress, experience a lot of this mental pain, to the point that they have a good comparison on what is actual heartbreak, or what is grief, what is sadness, what is depression, and better understanding of their emotion and feelings because they've experienced more in life. The teenager, it's their first time experiencing anything like this, so they're not going to be, most of the time, I say majority of the time, aren't going to be able to express what exactly they are feeling, what exactly are the pains that are being signaled in the brain. One last thing too is a note on depression. Depression's another sort of pain. Or let me split this up. Because we have depression, and then we also have sadness, and then we also have grief. So I'm going to leave depression as something that's more clinical. It's something that is more severe and that a doctor would need to help assess. But grief and sadness, I think, are things we can deal with ourselves. But whenever we do, in our current society, feel sadness or grief, there's almost the instant reaction of there's something wrong, I need to stop this. But if you're grieving for someone who's lost, it's your body getting into a mode where it doesn't want you to distract yourself. It wants you to focus on this person so you can reflect on what they meant to you in this life. Why were they so important to you? Why were you so in love with them? Why did you have such a deep and meaningful connection with them? It forces you into a state, where you don't move as much, you are pondering and thinking more often, and it forces you to reflect and think about them so that you know, better in the future, or not better, but in the future, or what these people did for you. And then I think Rilke puts it in a good way, is sadness and grief carves a hole into your heart so that you can fill it later on. And carves a space for growth. And I think that's what the reflection and introspection does within these grieving and deeply sad moments. It's our body giving an alarm, telling us we need to slow down, we need to think, we need to reflect, we need to understand what this person meant to us and understand the situation. But a lot of us don't do that because it's painful. It's very painful. But it's almost pivotal to do that. To be able to plant a seed into that hollow space inside you and allow it to grow back into something, or not back into something beautiful. So yeah, that's my thoughts on pain. And hopefully my pain starts to wane if I put some ice on my knee. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.